and welcome to the Popcorn and Joysticks podcast.
Episode 4!
Episode 4, the regular podcast from JHT.
Yes.
Where we talk about games, we talk about movies, we talk about TV.
And all sorts of nonsense.
And all sorts of nonsense and blooper reels. My name is Theo Litston. I'm here today with James Barber.
That's me.
And Hollie Hayton.
That's me.
And this is a very special episode because we've got a great episode ahead of us because we've got loads of stuff to talk about in terms of things that we've watched and things that we've played. But also, this is very special because it's the first episode that we've recorded in a world where Kingdom Hearts 4 has been announced.
I thought you'd bring this up straight away.
I thought you were going to bring up something like, what we're caring about.
For me, there's no passion that runs deeper than Kingdom Hearts. It is in my heart of hearts.
Amazing.
So Square Enix at the weekend, they held a little 20th anniversary event for Kingdom Hearts, which made me feel very old, 20 years.
I couldn't believe that.
Just point out, you're not 20 years old.
I'm not 20 years, no. Thank you, James.
No.
21. We're all 21 here.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all 21. I remember being a 1-year-old playing Kingdom Hearts. So Square Enix had this event on Sunday, and basically I think leading up to the event, people were maybe thinking we'll hear about like a Disney Plus show that has kind of been rumoured, or maybe we'll get a remake, or we'll get some musical stuff, and certainly new merchandise, and that new merchandise has materialised. But I don't think anyone in the Kingdom Hearts fan base was genuinely expecting us to get Kingdom Hearts 4. And especially to not just get like a title and a logo, but to see some gameplay.
Yeah.
And it
an
looks
actual trailer.
gorgeous. And an actual trailer. But what's quite interesting is that the trailer takes place mainly in a place called Quadratum, which is like a modern, it's like the Kingdom Hearts version of Tokyo. But the other area that is shown off in the trailer is like this woodland forest area.
Yeah.
That looks very, very reminiscent of Endor from Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
And even more interesting is that people, super nerds on the internet, have looked through frame by frame and they've seen what they believe is the foot of an AT-ST walker.
Okay, now I'm interested.
Now it's interesting.
Now you've done this. And you're like reeling me in now.
Oh, that's it. We've got him. He's on the hook.
Yeah.
When can we play it?
Well, that's the thing. We haven't had any.
Yeah.
There's
On
no
the 40th
indication.
anniversary.
Yeah. Basically, so like the gap between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3, despite all of the extra like mobile games and things that were in between that, is I think it's something like 16 years.
Wow.
Between announcement and release, Kingdom Hearts 3 was 5.5 years or some mad number like that. But yeah, knowing that you two haven't played any Kingdom Hearts, or Hollie,
Well,
you
I
might
have
have
played
a
the first two. I played the first and second, loved it, but then I don't know why, for some reason, it just fell off the bandwagon. Not because I didn't like it, just because I think I missed the boat when or whatever happened in the time when the next one was released and didn't play it. So I was just going to basically ask you to, what's happened really since then, if you can? Because I watched the trailer for the fourth one and went, I have to say I don't really know what's going on.
I think you must have seen a different trailer because the trailer which I watched of Kingdom Hearts 4 didn't have any forest scenes in it.
It didn't?
So it's an interesting trailer because the opening of the actual trailer that is released from Square actually shows two other games. So you see a bit of the mobile game, which is Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, and then you see a little bit of another newly announced title, which is called Missing Link, which is going to be on mobile, and then it goes into Kingdom Hearts 4. And
I just saw like the city bit, right?
So interspersed with that is this forest stuff, which is all beautifully rendered in.
I obviously wasn't
Unreal Engine.
paying
You were
attention.
not as engaged at that point. Maybe you hadn't seen the AT-ST
No, I'm definitely going to go back and watch that.
But I did
now.
see people sharing on Twitter like all these screenshots of like, is this what I think it is? And I was thinking, I don't know.
I love that it's inspired people to be like, I think this rock might be hiding in
But it makes sense. Like, it is Disney, and well, Star Wars is now Disney. So if they don't do it, I think they've missed a trick.
Yeah. So basically, the Kingdom Hearts series has gone from kind of your classic Disney worlds where the action takes place, and then they started to include some of the live action stuff. Like in Kingdom Hearts 2, you had Pirates of the Caribbean and you had Tron, And then in the Kingdom Hearts 3 was the introduction of Pixar. So it feels like on each numbered entry in the series, we're kind of getting that big step forward or an extra addition of different kind of types of world, I suppose. And so, as you rightly pointed out, we've now got Disney own Star Wars and they own Marvel.
Oh, yes.
So does this mean that we're finally going to see... And my question to you, basically, was going to be... I think that we've seen a lot of Tatooine recently.
Too much?
Too much. I'm fed up of it.
So if this looks like we're going to be getting Endor, what other planets or what other battles? Because typically the Kingdom Hearts stuff, the Kingdom Hearts storyline takes place adjacent to a storyline from a film.
Okay.
We're going to the Death Star.
Different. We're going to the Death Star.
I reckon if they don't do that, I'll be disappointed. I think we should just go straight there.
Oh my god! Yeah. So how big would that be? Is that you get the whole thing
What
with
would
like Luke
happen?
and Han, and then Obi-Wan goes,
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. That'd be amazing.
You do know that you're pretty much guaranteed to be running around with Jar Jar Binks.
They wouldn't do that to us.
I think they would. If they've got like
that would be
Daffy
so
Duck and
funny.
Goofy running around, they're going to have Jar Jar mixing in there as well.
You're just going to have Jar Jar like C-3PO just following you throughout the whole game.
I mean, so whenever they go to these different worlds as well. So the other thing that sort of come out of this trailer is that Sora's look is quite different. It's more aligned to something like Final Fantasy. And one of the great losses of 2022 apparently is going to be Sora's clown shoes, because he's wearing like normal size shoes for the first time, and like the fan base are going.
And they did focus on the feet, didn't they?
They showed his bare feet.
Yeah.
And his feet kind of look normal. It makes you think he does just wear big shoes, right? But apparently it's because he's in Quadratum, and that's kind of like the art style. So they usually adopt kind of this art style of each world. But it made me think, if we go to a Star Wars world and everyone kind of changes, Donald and Goofy will also change. Now, are they going to be aliens, or are they going to be droids, or are they going to be like, imagine?
Or are they going to be R2D2 and C-3PO?
Oh, they could be.
They could
one
be.
is short,
Because
one is tall.
the way their dynamic
That's
works.
how you tell C-3PO and R2D2.
They're like this.
One is small, one is white, one is gold.
But it could. Okay, so we've basically written Kingdom Hearts 4.
I think we're there.
I'm excited.
But I just wanted to talk about how.
Okay,
excited I was
one
about
question. So I've not played any Kingdom Hearts. What is it? What is it about? Because
We need to stop taking a drink when you ask.
that. Yeah. When you're asking us hilarious questions.
because it's just there's a lot of things within the game from different
Kind of
things.
just like a mashup of loads of games. I think the reason why I got into it, aside from it being Square Enix, is because it has Final Fantasy characters in it. And I think that was on the very first one. You meet, I think it's Aerith pretty quickly in like the first one, and I was like, I'm sold. Like, just for that reason. I think I was never a Disney fan, really. But it was just a mashup of everything. And so many people, I think, enjoyed it, because even if you're not that into something, there's going to be something else for you. And now maybe even for you with Star Wars.
I would love it if it comes out and it looks amazing. It's like the best looking Star Wars that you've ever seen in a video game.
Yeah.
But you have to wield a Keyblade and Donald Duck is there.
I couldn't
And I'm like, James, you have to play this now.
I couldn't do it
James is
to
going to
myself.
be livid.
I don't think I could do it.
It's hard to explain the story without getting too spoilery, because even I don't really understand the story and I can't really remember it.
The story is, and I saw someone post this on Reddit the other day, that Tetsuya Nomura, who is the director of Kingdom Hearts and the Kingdom Hearts series, is essentially the JRPG equivalent of Hideo Kojima.
Yes.
So if you imagine how mad and convoluted the Metal Gear Solid plot is, which I still love, Kingdom Hearts is that with Disney and Final Fantasy as well. So
you're basically just going back and forth between different Disney worlds with a single story running through
so
them.
you get the overarching like Kingdom Hearts story, which is an original story. But then every time they visit, say, I'm not going to name any worlds in it, but anyway, every time they visit a world, you kind of experience, like, if you go to Tangled, for instance, like you experience the story of Tangled, but there will also be tweaks made to accommodate Sora, Donald, and Goofy,
Right.
Yeah.
So
and anyone else from
are
the
they
Kingdom
like
Hearts.
Donald and Goofy? What's their role? Why are they?
So
Are
Donald,
they in it throughout the whole thing? So they follow you.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Like
but
Pikachu.
basically-
Stuck with them.
Like Pikachu in
Pikachu.
Yeah, like
Game Boy Yellow. Game Boy Yellow, Pokemon Yellow.
so. Basically, in the Kingdom Hearts universe, Mickey Mouse is king of Disney, right? And
Right.
Goofy is the head of the royal guard, and Donald is like his supreme wizard.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
At the start of the first game, they're basically tasked with protecting the Keyblade wielder, who turns out to be Sora. So they find him, and then they're like, "We're sticking with you." But then a friendship is formed, and that friendship is unbreakable, and it's the power of our hearts.
I will let
And
you
then-
enjoy it,
and
Via.
I'll phone you when I get to the Star Wars.
I
bit
do
in
want
Kingdom Hearts 4.
to play it, and I think because it's probably not going to be out for quite a while, I've probably got time to go back and play all of them before this is out. So
You can definitely play them all.
you can
on
probably dip in and out
PlayStation
of
now as
when
well.
things happen.
Yeah.
I just feel like for me, I get going between the different worlds and the different places within Disney, but having Donald Duck there, to me, just doesn't. I just don't get it.
You weren't a Donald Duck fan? Not even
You're not a
Bingo
fan of. Is it because he doesn't wear trousers? Is it because you think
because-
he's a
I
pervert?
think for me, it just makes it feel like it's slightly like a kid game.
I mean, this is a franchise that is designed, I guess, for all ages because
Yeah.
the actual Kingdom Hearts saga, I suppose, the overarching story, has some really dark emotional
Yeah.
points in it. At the same time, it weaves through like the story of Tarzan,
Yeah.
you know, and like Toy Story and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's kind
I think
it's
I
kind
would
of like
just
how
get-
Disney's grown and become something for everybody.
I think
Yeah.
like Alice in Wonderland's like one of the first ones,
It
isn't
is,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And Alice in Wonderland, of course, is not the light, fluffy story that Disney
No.
presents. It's
Yeah.
actually considerably darker to that. And then you have people who are like hunting other people's hearts and
Right.
you know these sorts of things. So it's got
Yeah.
something for everybody. But I think I suppose like the more childlike nature of it is actually part of the charm of Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts as well. And it's like you get that Final Fantasy-esque styling in the original characters, which appeals to people who grew up with those sorts of
Yeah.
things in the same way that people would be interested in seeing their favorite Disney worlds reimagined. And you can now go and explore your favorite Disney film effectively, you know, that sort of thing. And Donald and Goofy are there as your party members throughout to
Yeah.
provide you with Donald's meant to be curing you. He never cures me.
He's useless.
He
yeah.
is useless.
I do remember that is an overriding memory of Donald
Yeah,
just
yeah.
being flipping useless.
But I mean, he's also there's a cutscene in Kingdom Hearts 3 where he produces the most powerful flare magic.
Okay.
That's beyond anything you've ever seen in Final Fantasy. He produces a Zeta flare,
Oh, what? Never uses it.
and where was that all this time? You know,
could have helped.
We've had some hard battles, and you're using it now. It's
Yeah.
like you can use that, but you can't use cure. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to bring Kingdom Hearts to the table today because it's a really nice opportunity for me to just talk about Kingdom Hearts.
Do you think it's appealing more to the nostalgia of Kingdom Hearts, or do you think it's trying to now bring in a whole new generation?
It's going to be interesting actually, because obviously there's going to be people like myself who have grown up with this series over the last 20 years, who have played everything, and as soon as there's a little tidbit released, I'm there. There'll be people like me who are dying, I can't wait to play it again. But also, the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 is the end of the what was called the Xehanort saga, which is, if you imagine, I guess Star Wars, where you have it's 3 trilogies.
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
The Xehanort saga kind of covers all of the games that have already been released, and now we're moving into what is going to be called the Lost Masters saga.
Okay.
So it's a whole new storyline that is taking place. So it's a good point for people who may not be
to almost jump in
to
now.
kind of jump in. And I think they're going to be kind of clever with how they do it, so that they'll probably have something that gets people up to speed, similar to how Kingdom Hearts 3 did it, actually, where they do get people up to speed on everything that's gone before it, and there'll be glossaries and things like that, but you won't need to know it for this game.
Yeah.
And I think, especially if they will go down this route of having Star Wars and Marvel, and I mean, I'd like to see like Turning Red featured in there.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the more recent like Disney Pixar movies, I think would be a really good fit for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot more like Final Fantasy stuff as well, because that was what Kingdom Hearts 3 was kind of missing until you got like the DLC. A lot of those sorts of things. So I think it is going to be a good point. It's obviously really too early to tell. I think we're a way off with it. It's like
a couple of years, isn't it?
I think it's going to be at least a couple of years. And what's interesting is that trailer that has been released was running on Unreal Engine 4.
Right.
And of course, like last week, we saw the Unreal Engine 5 showcase from Epic. So, and they have said that they will be transitioning over to Unreal Engine 5. So it's going to look...
So that demo, I was going to say, so that demo's in Unreal Engine 4?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Because obviously Unreal Engine 5 came out in the Gears 6, like 40-second trailer, what they released. Looks incredible.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, we've played a bit of Unreal Engine 5 with the Matrix experience. I can't remember exactly what it was called. And that was unbelievable. It's some of the best graphics I've ever seen. And that's a teaser.
Yeah.
So when we start,
but that's the thing. Even like the Gears 6 teaser, what they've released, like they haven't even announced like the game or anything. But it's like if Gears 6 comes out or when it comes out, another 2 years, another 2 years of development from
I think that's
what
going
we're
to be
looking
truly
at
next
now.
gen then, isn't it? It's going to be unrecognisable. I think the next jump when we get there.
I know, like we always seem to say, like when we have a new generational console, we're always like the pinnacle, like it looks amazing, looks lifelike. And then 5-6 years goes on and you get another generation of consoles and games, and it's like, this looks like real life.
Yeah.
Like, it genuinely looks real now.
Yeah.
Like with the Matrix one and the Gears 6 one, like you kind of can't really comprehend how much better things can get.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing now and what's going to be released in 2 years is going to be far superior than what we're seeing now. It's just that like constant evolving and new expectations and you know, whether it's from lighting to skin texture to reflections in eyes or whatever.
Like water is always like a crazy one.
Water graphics.
Yeah.
And that's almost like one of the things which they can kind of do well now is water.
Yeah.
But actual ripples and waves, that's where I feel like things are let down quite quickly. Now you can see the ripples and the reflections, which look gorgeous, but yeah, when you see like waves washing up onto a beach, it just looks kind of white and pixely.
Yes,
that's the bit which kind of gets let down. So yeah, there's always ways to tweak things and improve things and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I was quite blown away by that Gears 6 sort of. Have you seen that one?
I have, because they haven't officially called that like a Gears 6. It's a kind of like a proof of concept that's come from
that's the thing. They're not even
Coalition.
They're not even saying that it's Gears 6. I don't think, but everyone.
Well, they're making
you look at the armor and it's clearly Gears 6.
Yeah.
I mean, they threw that board up with all the logos of all the companies who are working on Unreal 5, and with the official release of Unreal Engine 5 that came out last week, it's like people are now. You could go home and get Unreal Engine 5 going on your PC and just play with it. And because they've even released those sort of like multiplayer template demos that I'm kind of like, I've dabbled a little bit of Unreal in the past, so I'd have a little go at that and see if I can just get it running, and then, you know, I'll put Sora in it. And Donald Duck just for you.
Just for me.
I mean, I'd make a game that has like Donald, well, probably Donald and Goofy, Sora, Solid Snake could be in there, and of course Sonic the Hedgehog would have to be in there as well. Yeah. And that brings us on to, I went to go and see the Sonic 2 movie
You
the other
did?
day. And I had a great time.
Yeah?
I really enjoyed it, yeah.
Before you talk about Sonic 2, Sonic 1,
The film,
thoughts?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it?
I am a big fan of Sonic.
Okay.
That's nice. So you did enjoy the first one.
I enjoyed the first one. I felt it does have its shortcomings, as like a lot of modern films do, I suppose. And it was more like the first film was very much like Sonic in our world.
Yeah.
Whereas Sonic 2 is pulling more from the games, and so you're getting a bit more of that Sonic-ness, I suppose, because, I mean, beyond the basic editions of, I say basic, but like the core editions of Tails and Knuckles to the cast, you're also getting stuff like there is a labyrinth zone, there is like Chaos Emeralds, there's Master Emeralds, all these sorts of things. There's Death Egg robots and all that stuff's in the trailer and on the posters. So I'm not spoiling anything about those things. But it was nice to see those sorts of things come into the film. I do think the film was great, and all the human actors are also excellent, especially Jim Carrey.
I was going to say Jim Carrey in the trailer, he looks great.
He's really you can tell he's enjoying himself with this. I think the only stumbling block for me with the film is there is a subplot that involves the humans in Hawaii, which I'm kind of like, although it's well acted, it really does slow the pace down. With Sonic the Hedgehog, you just go fast, gotta go fast. But I generally enjoyed the film. And it was just nice to have another game film, a game movie that is
do you think it's quite mad that it's literally been, 2 years since the first Sonic first Sonic movie came out to the second one? And it must have shown how good the first one actually did perform, even though it was getting quite bad press before they actually released it, with like the look of Sonic and stuff, and they had to render him or whatever.
They did.
But
with his little baby human teeth and his weird legs, his strangely muscular legs.
It was a bit weird.
But
I wonder if they did that deliberately, let's make him really weird looking to see if people
in a way, you want to do that for publicity.
That's what I mean. Did they do it deliberately?
A lot of goodwill by going, look, we listened to the fans.
We
made Sonic.
Was that really their final design? Did everyone go, that's Sonic to me? Yes. Did they?
But I think what's quite mad is it's basically been filmed and released within 2 years, and the last 2 years has been COVID.
That's true.
So the prioritizing of what films can we do within the pandemic, Sonic 2 gets a pass. They didn't wait and go, we're just kind of put it on the back burner.
Maybe it was
to get a
easy to do
second
during
Sonic
COVID.
within 2 years, I just would have thought that it wouldn't have been the priority to get it through with social distancing and working from home and all of those
Maybe Sonic can't get COVID. So
maybe hedgehogs are immune to coronavirus.
Quite possibly.
Maybe
I just think it's quite mad that within the 2 years it was released in COVID, and we've now got a second one still in COVID.
Yeah, and actually what's potentially even madder is that before the second one came out, they'd already announced that the third one's in production. So there's a level of confidence with this franchise.
They already have filmed it then.
Yeah, maybe.
Quite possibly,
Maybe they'd already done a lot of it and went, we can announce it now. It's 90% done.
It's Sonic. It's all about speed. Let's
They've
get these films out
got to
quickly.
be speedy.
And, I, for one, think that the franchise is doing really well, and it's great to see, some good Sonic stuff again.
Yeah.
Because the Sonic fan base has been through the ringer over the years. Every time a new Sonic game gets announced, we all kind of have that, here we go, this is the one, this is going to return us to and then it comes out, and inevitably it's a bit of a frown on your face. And then actually, the thing that I'm most looking forward to as a Sonic fan is Sonic Origins, which is those original Mega Drive games that are coming out later this year, but we haven't heard any more of that. And because we haven't heard any more of that, this is my fix now. As a Sonic fan, it's we can have, I think it's about 2 hours long, Sonic 2, just a really fun movie.
I think it's just come in the UK. The first one has just come onto Netflix now, hasn't it?
I think it's been on there for a while.
I think I just saw it on Netflix the other day, so I thought, maybe it's now being put in the cycle of Netflix. So we've not actually seen either of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it might be something what we can.
Yeah, definitely.
It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on it now that we've talked about it.
Yeah.
And kind of a flip of that, we've talked about it on the podcast before, the Uncharted film.
I was going to say, what's your thoughts on games being turned into films, so Sonic being one of them? Do you think it's a good move that Sonic's been put into a film?
I think not every game is going to work in that sort of transition.
Yeah.
And I think provided they're still making compelling storylines, like why not? We borrow from books all the time,
Yeah,
or
that's
we
true.
borrow from history, and it's like actually this really good. I'm not saying the writing in Sonic's amazing in the Sonic games, but there's a lot of good writing. There's a huge amount of talent in the games industry, and movies cost a lot of money to make, and so if you start with an established franchise, you've already got a fan base there. We're probably going to go. So it's a bit, very businessy.
Yeah.
In terms of, do we want to see it? Yeah, why not?
I think So moving on then to the Uncharted movie. When that was announced that they were going to be making an Uncharted movie, being like a big fan of the Uncharted series, do you want a movie?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Or would you rather?
I guess it depends.
Would you
there's
rather
some
have
of them.
more of a time, money spent on creating of a new game? Or
They're
I know it's
separate.
completely
They're-
different. I know it's
yeah.
completely different, but it's like
I guess it depends. Like some games might turn into films better. Like Uncharted is a bit like Indiana Jonesy.
Yeah.
So you think it could make a good film, but if you said, "Oh, we're going to make a Kingdom Hearts film," you'll be a bit like, "Are you sure? Is that going to translate well? Who the hell is going to be Donald if it's not like a animation? Like, you know what I mean? If they tried to let's make it all, you might be a bit hazy on some games, but I think things like Uncharted, you kind of know what you're getting, and if they do a bad job, then you wonder how the hell they did it.
As well, in addition to this, we've also got the history of video game films, which is ropey at best.
Yeah, and I think
the
it's like
original
this
Mortal Kombat was okay.
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed, like that had so much potential, and it just missed everything in my
It
opinion.
swan dived off a building and it missed the hay car. Whenever I think of that, so we had like Assassin's Creed and Prince of Persia starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh my god! Which at the time is like, hey, I'm really pleased to be able to see this sort of stuff. And actually, I always completely forgot that it existed up until this morning when I saw a post about that. But yeah, I think it's okay to do these things, and if it brings that brand awareness to more people as well.
I think that's the thing, like what Hollie was just saying then, that certain games turn into films work, but certain ones don't. I personally wouldn't have said that a Sonic game putting into film wouldn't work, but you're saying it kind of does.
Yeah, that's true. But then I would have said Assassin's Creed, that could have been amazing, and I don't know what they did, and it wasn't amazing. Like, you know what I mean? I guess it is literally just down to who is making it. Do they even understand the game?
Yeah.
Or do they understand what the audience wants?
Half of it is that they're relying on the fan base to watch it and then bring in a new audience.
Yeah.
But the core fan base will go and watch it.
Yes.
And if they completely miss the mark of the game within the film, because a game you're playing 30, 40, 50, 100 hours, you're so well invested in a singular game, and a film's an hour and a half, 2 hours, that you've got to get it right, because you don't have much time to basically win people over. And getting people to pay 15 quid or whatever it is to watch the film, double that and you've got the game, but the actual money to time being spent, you spend 50 quid on a game, you spend 100 hours into it or more.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you spend 15 quid on seeing a film and it's an hour and a half. Do people feel more let down by that? It's...
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You're just trying to get those core people in who are like wanting to go, and if you
it's an interesting idea. Yeah,
give the people what they want, it's almost like, well, how did it fail? Because you've got this world has already been created so vastly that if a video game movie fails,
it's almost like they didn't understand who they were making it for.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's almost like they're forgetting that it's a game or there's an audience, and we're just turning this into something completely different. Almost like they almost seem to be like B movies, straight to DVD type movies. But you've got the money, the infrastructure, the fans to make it AAA film, but a lot of them seem to fail. So that takes us to Uncharted, that we've all seen the new Uncharted film.
Yes.
So I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on the Uncharted film, just as a film, as a piece of entertainment?
We didn't even really know we were watching it.
Yeah, well, our friend kind of booked tickets, and he was like, "Oh, we're going to the cinema tonight," and he
we didn't even know what we were watching.
That's dangerous.
So
isn't it?
we were away last week, and it was just something just one evening. It was like, oh yeah, we've booked to go to the cinema this evening. We're like, oh cool. Just kind of went and sat down. We're like, what are we even watching? Like, because we've been doing so much stuff in the day. We were so busy. We literally sat down. It was a very cool cinema. It was when they bring food and drinks and everything to you. You have a big table, reclining chairs. It was a very nice cinema. Then Uncharted started, and I was like, okay.
And that was literally the first thing you knew that, I'm now watching Uncharted.
Well, because there was some confusion. It was like between two films, and
there
we
was
couldn't remember which one they booked.
What's the actor's name? I completely missed me now.
Which one?
In Uncharted.
Tom Holland.
No, the other one.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, him. There's 2 films of him out now.
Oh, is there?
The one where he turns into like a priest.
Oh, the religious one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a film being advertised with him
When you
in
say
it.
he turns into a priest, I just need to get this. He acts as a priest.
The
film's about him as a priest. He doesn't turn into.
He just morphs into one.
It's like
Priest man.
He's now got priest superpowers.
Yeah, he within the film the story he turns very religious and turns into a priest, I assume. That's what the trailer says. We haven't watched it. Mm-hmm. That is what we thought we might have been going in to see.
Could you get more contrasting characters between that and
but it's
Sully?
Exactly. It's the same 2 people.
I didn't realise it was the same 2 people.
Not the same 2 people. Mark Wahlberg
is one person.
But he's in on Uncharted and in this other film.
What I meant is I didn't realise it was the same person in the 2 movies.
Yes.
In one film he transforms into a priest. In another film he transforms into a man with a mustache at the end.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, we watched the film.
We did, yes.
It was okay.
Yeah, you carry on. Or is that it? That's your statement.
That's your hot take. Okay.
My review of it was okay.
Okay, right.
So you can carry on.
Would you have preferred to have seen the film where he turns into a priest?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was good. I think it was what I was expecting, going on the thing of video games to movies, and this is Uncharted. Uncharted was a little bit cheesy and very, well, not exactly true to real life.
Over the top.
A bit far-fetched, and I think they nailed it in that sense. It was like that plane scene where they were hanging out the back of that plane with all the stuff, like
defeating laws of gravity.
Exactly, there is no physics. There is no physics, but that's kind of what you expect, because in the game, I remember some of the jumps you made, you were like,
and that sequence itself is in the game. That's in Uncharted 3, that plane sequence, and that kind of happens.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So it felt true to what the game is to me. Yes, it's cheesy, but it's a good popcorn film.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. For what it is, I enjoyed it.
It is the definition of a popcorn and joysticks film.
It is, yes.
But no, I do think it was enjoyable, and I was kind of left wanting more, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if they made another one, I'd go and see it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna
and that's what they want.
But I just feel like it's not going to be award ceremony. Like
it's not going to get an Oscar. No.
An Oscar.
No, it's
but
not. It's not really
like you just said.
awards.
It's a popcorn film.
Yeah.
It'll be it's a good film to put on with your mates around, and you hang out and see explosions and people doing some cool stuff in very cool locations, and like the bit which I love was the whole ship bit with the helicopters.
I mean, that was ridiculous, but that was fun.
It's ridiculous, but it was so far-fetched, that type of thing, that
it was fun.
It was kind of enjoyable.
I mean, at that point, I believe that is something that you could see in the games as well, and it feels like that would transition back the other way. I could picture myself almost playing that section
and having to like time the jumps as the ships like coming together, like jumping onto another.
I'll be useless at that. I'll be on that level forever.
So what did you think?
Well, that's good. I mean, we've covered my thoughts on it before. I really enjoyed the
Wasn't it to quote
film.
Bloody Brilliant? Isn't that what
it
you
was?
said?
Bloody Brilliant. I think it was the title of our first podcast.
Yes.
We talked about that.
Quite possibly.
Yes.
Okay. Something else that I think is bloody brilliant is Moon Knight.
Okay.
So
tell us more.
It is the new Oscar Isaac fronted Disney Plus Marvel show.
Okay.
That's it. That's the pitch.
That's the pitch. Love it.
And he plays a chap called Stephen Grant, or maybe Mark. Who
Maybe.
I mean, that's part of it. He
Okay.
has this sort of dissociative identity disorder.
Okay.
So he's kind of got these two voices going
He's
on.
not sure.
And he's not sure. And it's really nice seeing Oscar Isaac, just seeing him. You know,
Yeah.
he's such a
He's
good
a great
actor. I think that the accent that he puts on with Stephen Grant is a bit unusual. I think a lot of people have talked about that. But I'm really into it and I quite enjoy his performance in this.
Can you do the accent?
No. I don't know if I could. It's very, very like British.
Like the
Cockney?
Queen.
Like
Queen.
he's very I'm from London. Sort of
very
thing.
Cockney.
He's very quiet as well. He's got this
Okay.
kind
Like
of
a cab driver?
lack of confidence. Quite like a cab driver.
Cab drivers aren't normally quiet.
I just meant like accent, like a cab driver.
Oh.
Oh no, not really. It's very like it's almost like Victorian,
Okay.
like London-esque, but with this very like softly spoken kind
Okay.
of lack of confidence in the way
Right.
that he delivers his lines.
Like a chimney sweeper. maybe.
As a modest chimney sweeper.
I'm just trying to think like Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
They're a bit modest.
But yeah, really enjoying that. I'm a big fan of like Egyptian mythology as well,
Yeah.
and it kind of connects into that quite a lot. So I don't know anything about him from the comics or anything prior to this. This is the first exposure I've ever had to Moon Knight. Might have played as him in like one of the Lego Marvel games for a level or two. But yeah, it's been really good fun. It's a nice sort of like 6-episode arc as well. And we're starting to get some action. The first episode I really enjoyed because he has these sort of like blackout phases where he's being taken over by this other voice, and he's doing all of the badass stuff during those moments. And so you'll literally see him like fleeing from a fight, like, oh my god, I'm so scared, and then it'll kind of like black out, and then he'll just be like escaping in a van with a gun. And it's like,
Oh.
Oh, wow.
how did I get here, sort of thing.
That's pretty cool.
And that's been a really kind of fun narrative that they've had a chance to play with. And it really speaks to the, like, not quite show, don't tell. It's almost the flip of that. And it's like you're telling a story without showing it.
Yeah.
And actually, I feel like we're getting more from that. It's probably good for their budget as well. Because
You don't have to film half of it.
And it's a bit different. Yeah.
But it is a bit different, and it injects sort of some real life to it. So today's Wednesday, so it's out every Wednesday. So we're now, as of today, we're sort of like halfway through this season. But yeah, definitely, if you're into something that's a bit different from your typical
How
Marvel,
how much Marvel-y-ness is in it? Like, is
it's
it like
still a Marvel like
is
production.
it superhero-y or like how?
So yeah, I mean, Moon Knight is Egyptian
Okay.
superhero effectively. I think he's gonna, and again I'm picking it up from this TV show, and I don't know too much about it, but it's almost as if he's like a guardian or
Okay.
similar.
Okay.
He's a employee of an Egyptian god basically.
Okay.
So yeah, you do get to see him kind of suit up with this like really cool like white
Right.
bandaged, almost like mummified suit. And he's all about like the moon because he's called Moon Knight.
Makes sense. It does make sense.
Spoiler.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been really enjoying that recently. So yeah, go and check that out. It's on Disney Plus.
That does sound interesting.
You've been watching some stuff on Apple TV, I understand.
Yes.
Yes. So we're just going to gloss over this one. We have finished Severance.
Yes, we have.
And I know we spoke about it last time. And Theo still hasn't watched it.
So we won't
I've been busy
speak.
watching Moon Knight.
We won't speak about it this
We won't
time.
speak about Severance, but
because we have a lot
me
to
and Holly
say.
have finished it. Do we?
Well, no, but I mean, we want to discuss it, but when at least Theo can discuss it.
I think
that's the point. It's a
we
good
should,
discussion.
I think we should do like a bit more of a deep dive into it, maybe like a bit of a spoiler cast and,
Yeah,
and
I
really
think
talk
that's a
about it
good
once Theo's watched it and in a couple of weeks' time, once everyone else has had a chance
Yes.
to see it, because I do feel like Severance is like the perfect kind of show now where people can go over to Apple TV.
There's
Because
enough on Apple TV now.
There is a few other things which are on Apple TV which are making us stay there now. But I think up until now, people would use like the 3-month trial type of thing.
Hello.
Yeah, watch one or
Ted
two
Lasso
things.
and
Watch
that's
Ted
it.
Lasso.
If you are a PS5 owner, you do get 6 months of Apple TV.
Yeah.
Just that's a PSA. Like, go and get it if you haven't got it already.
But yes, Severance, incredible. If you haven't watched that, go watch that as
10 out of
well.
10.
And we will do a bit of a spoiler cast.
We'll do a spoiler
I
cast.
think
Okay,
soon
okay,
because it to me is it deserves it.
Yes.
How many
for sure.
episodes are there in the series?
9.
9. And are they half hour?
They're about 50
They vary quite a lot, actually.
I think they're
don't
around
they?
50-ish minutes.
Okay, there's my homework for next time.
45 to an hour.
We'll
Yeah,
get a
they
spoiler
do
cast together.
vary, yeah.
But no, it's definitely worth a watch. But the other thing we've just started on Apple TV is We Crashed,
Amazing.
which is the new Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway TV show. We've only seen the very first episode of it, and it was enjoyable.
Can you tell us what it's about?
Okay, so it is Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway are in a relationship, and they are entrepreneurs, business people, and they're running a very successful. I think it's even on the poster.
But it's like how they started.
So
This is the
basically-
dramatization of WeWork.
Yes,
right?
that's the one, yeah.
So it's a $45 billion company they started.
Yeah.
The very first episode is almost like the prequel to that of like how they
There's like 2 timelines, isn't there?
how they basically came about to create this over the last sort of 12 or 15 years. And then at the end of episode 1, it's you kind of know the sort of story. I don't know where it's going to go from episode 2 onwards because we've only seen episode 1, but it's definitely worth a watch as well because I think it's shot very well, it's acted very well, it's intriguing. And going on a slight tangent now, we also started watching Inventing Anna on Netflix.
Yeah.
I was very excited about watching that because the actress Julie Garner is incredible in Ozark.
I loved her in
I think
Ozark.
she's incredible as Ruth in Ozark. So I really wanted to watch this because I thought this would be another big TV show where she can really shine within it. But I just didn't enjoy it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We watched
2 episodes.
2 episodes of it, and to me it just felt it felt like it was almost filmed like a sitcom. It just didn't.
There was something that didn't click. Nothing to do with anyone's acting or anything per
No,
se. But
I think
I just imagined it to be filmed a bit differently, and I don't know.
it just felt very like, I don't know, sitcom-y is
Something's
all I
just
can
a
kind
bit
of
off,
say.
and I don't know if we just have to persevere and get into it,
I
or
think
if
we
it's
probably
just we had
will.
preconceived ideas about it.
I think we will probably go back to it. I think my main thing is after watching 2 episodes is the reason why I wanted to watch it was because of her and her acting. But I don't feel like she's the main actress.
And she's hardly in it.
I do wonder if you saying that it feels a bit off, whether that's by design, because maybe that's how other people are seeing Anna, because this is obviously it's a true story about an heiress who basically is, a fake heiress, right?
Yeah, and I
Yes.
think that's the thing is, we wanted to see it from, say, her point of view, and we're seeing it from the journalist's point of view. So I think maybe it's probably our preconceived ideas of what we were getting.
Yeah.
I think
It's
episode
off.
2 was definitely better than episode 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because episode 1, it was like...
It was just,
It was... I wanted to see the story of how she came about, how her...
You want to see her
I don't want to spoil too much of it.
I think, I think one thing is, I normally struggle if you watch 2 things that are relatively similar back to back, and we had just watched Bad Vegan, which is very much like a real life story. It's happened,
a documentary.
and it's documentary style. So we went straight off of that into Inventing Anna. So I guess we were thinking, okay, we're expecting something more true to life. I know it's not a documentary because it's got actors.
But it's
and
a
actresses,
dramatization, but I thought it was going to be slightly like darker following the story,
Yeah,
and it just
so-
felt a bit too sort of light-hearted, almost like slapsticky in a way. It just, it just didn't really click.
The vibe was just very different. So I wonder if it's just like our fault from going from one thing that we thought was going to be similar and now being a bit confused that it's not. So it's probably entirely our fault that we're a bit confused.
But I think that's why I liked We Crashed more, because it felt darker and it felt you were more part of the story rather than watching it from a journalist's perspective. Some people might enjoy that, but for me, that's more of a documentary thing. Seeing it from a who done it type of thing is more documentary.
I would say is much more intriguing than Inventing Anna, the way that they filmed it.
Yeah.
Even though they're both dramatisations of something real-ish that's happened.
Yeah.
And We Crash, like Jared Leto, I just think he's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
You know, anything you watch within the last year, he's in it.
He's in
everything.
You were surprised that he was in House of Gucci, right?
I did. We watched House of Gucci recently. I didn't even realise he was in it.
It's like he's guaranteed. He's in Moon Knight as well.
Is he in Sonic?
He actually is Sonic. He manifested a blue hedgehog, and
he's voiced by Ben Schwartz, but the actual character of Sonic, that's Jared.
I get you now.
He's painted in blue, put little red shoes on him.
So we're talking about things that we were hoping were maybe a bit darker or a bit more intriguing. One thing that came out yesterday is the trailer for Stranger Things Series 4. And we briefly talked about this on the last podcast because we'd seen some set, not some set footage, but some photos that had come out as like promotional photos. Now we've got a full trailer, which I personally think is a really great trailer, not only because it features Separate Worlds by Journey on the soundtrack, which is an absolute banger, go Journey, but also how have they done this? I was really lukewarm coming off the back of Series 3. I'm kind of done. We're now getting, the groups are all split up. We've got Hopper in Russia. We've got Joyce and her gang, they've moved to California, and we've still got the kids left in Hawkins. How is all of this going to come together? And this trailer is just really kind of reinvigorated me. It's intriguing, it's dark. What do you two think?
I think exactly the same as that. It just, to me, is exactly what we were saying in the last episode, that we want it to be darker, almost go back to its roots. And I feel like the trailer has done that. It hasn't, hopefully it hasn't under or oversold it. Hopefully they've hit the nail on the head.
That transcends into the actual series, and they haven't just like made the trailer very dark, and then the actual series is pretty similar. To how
and
it
it's
was.
too light-hearted and too kind of Ghostbustery again.
What did you think of the look of the new villain? So we've seen someone who's kind of covered in tentacles.
I think it felt very like 70s, 80s horror.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for.
Which matches.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying with the kind of first series, is it was real. Like the horror felt real. There was not really CG, like the CG in series 3 of like the big, I don't even know what it's called now, the monstery thing and the thunder and lightning you'd see. It just was almost too far-fetched that it doesn't become scary. But having this like creepy demon monster humanoid thing, to me, is sort of scarier.
But
I mean, he's a practical effect. So I watched something with the Duffer Brothers yesterday where they were talking about the new trailer, and they were saying that where they can, they've done as much of it as a practical effect. So those tentacles or tendrils or whatever they are digital. They're a CGI add-on. But it's no longer the kids and the actors are acting against like a balloon. It's now they're acting against someone who is genuinely made up to look like that.
And he does look pretty freaky. I mean, we haven't really seen that much.
No, I don't want to see any more.
No, and I think nothing less is more with this sort of thing. Like the less you see, the more intriguing it is. And I think that's what they did well in the first one, is you saw enough, but you didn't see that much. And I think that was the, like, when you did see something, you were like, oh, that's a bit freaky.
That first series where you just might get a very small glimpse of a Demogorgon. Like when Will's taken in the very first episode, you don't see anything. You see a light bulb flickering, you kind of sense that there's something amiss, and then it's an empty shed with a light bulb flickering.
I know you can't keep that up. Like you have to. They can't just have that on forever.
Yeah.
But I do think hopefully they don't. Yeah, like in series 3, show you everything, and you're a bit like, not so scared now.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
Yeah,
we've
it's-
already had like a very like action shot of a Demogorgon like jumping at Hopper in Russia, and it's like we've got a full body shot. It's really well lit. We can
Yeah.
see what this thing is. Ugh, is that too much? I don't know,
Or
but
just-
if we're gonna get some more creepiness.
Do we think that there's going to be like wormholes between where they all are and the upside down, and that's how they are interconnecting? Like, because they're obviously so spaced out
Yeah.
now.
Well, obviously, the end of spoilers for the end of series 3. I think most people who are
Want
with
to
us at
watch
this
it?
point have
Yeah.
probably seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, we kind of thought that Hopper was gone.
Yeah.
You know? And then I think a few people were like, maybe he jumped through the wormhole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is obviously what has transpired as he's escaped through the wormhole. He's ended up in Russia. And then in that trailer, we see Joyce receive a package that's covered in stickers that have a hammer and sickle.
Yeah.
Stamps that has like the hammer and sickle on. So obviously he's contacting her,
Yeah.
sending something. Lord knows what. I feel like they're all going to be spread apart. They're all going to be, to the wind. And
Yeah.
then they're all going to somehow, something.
They'll all reunite.
Presumably, whatever goes down in Hawkins is going to kick off, and they're all going to have to come back and fight
Yeah.
it together. And I'm down for that. I'm looking forward to kind of having these
Yeah.
this gang back together.
Like adventure horror type thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully the practical effects are the things that make it like, oh, wasn't expecting
Yeah.
that,
I
rather than
genuinely
just
wanna be
like,
scared.
Yeah.
I want to be scared in this,
Yeah.
and I'm not one for horror, but I do like a bit of it every now and
Yeah.
again. And Stranger Things about the limit. Stranger
Yeah.
Things series 1 is about the limit. Stranger
Yeah.
Things 1 and like Alien, that's my limit. Anything
Yeah.
beyond that, then no thank you. I'll go and have a cup of tea and a cuddle somewhere else. But yeah, so that's coming out at the end of next month, and we've got two parts.
yes,
So
May
that's
and June, April and June, May and June,
May and June.
May and June,
Yeah, and then
or
outside-
July, maybe July.
So that's, I don't know.
Soon.
At some point in the summer.
So I think that's everything that we've watched over the last week.
It's quite a lot.
You two have watched quite a lot, which I'm, fair play.
Well,
We had some
we
time
spent a
on a
lot
plane.
of time on an airplane. We've been to America and back since the last episode, so
Yeah.
we've spent many hours sat on an airplane. So we watched.
Yes.
Oh, one other thing which I haven't mentioned, which we did watch on an airplane, which I very much enjoyed, was
Yes.
Last Night in Soho,
Last Night in Soho.
which I thought was awesome.
It was so good. Yeah.
So this is Edgar Wright's latest
Edgar Wright's
movie
latest,
picture.
amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the kind of the styling, the aesthetic of it, the way it was done, the cinematography, just the way it was put together was just so well crafted from like a filmmaker point of view. I just thought it was, incredibly well done with the. I don't know if you don't know anything about it. It's basically a girl who goes to university in London, and she has these weird kind of visions, flashbacks of another girl who she can kind of interact with, but back in time, and it's this kind of
The
like
one's like present day, and then is it the other
in the
girls
60s,
in the 60s? Yeah.
and it's this weird kind of crossover thing. So the way it's filmed, you'll see one girl in a mirror, but the actress is the other actress, and it's
This is just like Moon Knight.
quite possibly, yeah. And it's just so well done. Great acting, and
I'd recommend it.
just the way it's done. It was awesome, and I personally love Edgar Wright films.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Didn't you also say the doorbell was the same? Was it that film you said the doorbell was the same doorbell
yeah.
sound in
Not the doorbell. When she walks into like a supermarket,
Ding Dong?
and it's the same ding
door.
dong as in like Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, okay. So like a little
Because
trademark.
it's a little Easter egg.
Someone
I
walked
don't know
around
if that's
eating a cornetto.
true.
We haven't checked
I heard it and I went, well,
That
that's
sounds the
Shaun of the
same.
Dead.
Are we getting like the Wilhelm scream version of a doorbell?
I think
now?
quite possibly, yeah. But yeah, Edgar Wright obviously directed all of Simon Pegg films as well, the Cornetto trilogy, and I think they're incredible films.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World is
Also did that as
is the
well.
best one. Yeah.
Wow, debatable. Let us know which Edgar Wright film
Yeah,
you
do
enjoyed
let us
most.
know if you
Yeah.
prefer the Cornetto
is-
trilogy or Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim.
Or Last Night in Soho.
Or Last Night in Soho.
I mean, come on.
I feel like the reviews of Last Night in Soho aren't great. They're kind of getting about the 7 out of 10-ish.
Oh, guys.
I don't know why it's getting that.
Can you put a number on it? If you had to put a number on it? Can you put a number on it? Is it different? Is it the same?
I think I would definitely put it higher than 7. I'd put it more like a 9 probably.
Ooh, that is a high number.
I was going to say 8.5, but then I was thinking, well, why is it not higher? So I'd probably have to say 9.
I don't know what else
there's
they
nothing,
could have done.
Yeah, there's nothing that stood out that could have not on that bit.
Yeah.
So I would probably have to say a 9 because there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a 10 as in, oh my God, made the favourite film list ever. Yeah. But it's a solid film and I can't really pick too many faults with it.
I'd say it's probably one of the best films I've seen this year. Even though I think it was out last year.
I think it was out the tail end of last year. But just out of interest, so I've seen the trailer, I've not seen the film. The trailer starts off with like very groovy, kind of like cool, like 60 settings with some of the, you kind of get that, that premise comes across as like people sort of like time traveling flashbacks.
Yeah.
But then the trailer goes into a more like kind of horror or murder kind of.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Is that trailer accurate?
It is dark.
Okay. Cool.
If you watched any like, is
it as scary as Alien or Stranger Things?
You should be fine. You should be fine. It's
you
not
might need a cup of tea and a pillow.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not scary. It's more thriller-esque.
Yeah, I wouldn't say horror, but it does have some dark moments.
It's in a way like who done it type thing within it. But if you've watched like The World's End, it just kind of like you think you kind of get it, and it just ramps up to like crazy sort of ending,
and then it goes weird.
It follows that same sort of projection as that. As you're like, oh, this is normal, like university or something weird's going on, and then it just kind of escalates to the end. And I thought it was a really great film.
Oh, brilliant. Cool. Well, do let us know what your favourite Edgar Wright film is.
Cornetto trilogy, obviously.
Scott Pilgrim, and you're maybe going to go with Soho.
I'm just going to go with Soho to be different. Yeah.
Amazing. That's cool. That, I think, brings us to the end of...
I think it does.
Like everything that we've kind of enjoyed over the last week or so, which of course means that it's time for trivia time.
No.
Currently 1-0 up.
I normally like trivia, but you're making me not like trivia.
But give her like a geography one, she'll probably get it.
So I always try to pick a question that is relative to something that we've talked about on the podcast.
Okay.
So of course today it was going to be about Kingdom Hearts.
I was going to say.
Okay. Yeah.
So currently, James, you're 1-0 in the lead. Of course, we're going to keep a tally of the results over the course of the year, and then whoever wins at the end will get you a little trophy or something. But today's trivia question is: which of these worlds did not feature in the original Kingdom Hearts?
Original being the
As
first
in
one.
The OG game, the original game.
The first one, okay.
So this is like blind fire for me. I have absolutely no idea.
So we've got 4 choices. Was it A, Halloween Town from Nightmare Before Christmas?
Okay.
B, Sherwood Forest from Robin Hood?
Okay.
C, Agrabah from Aladdin? Or D, Deep Jungle from Tarzan? And you can play along at home as well.
Have them again,
say them
please?
again? So you've got Halloween.
So yeah, which one of these worlds did not feature in the original?
So the other
Kingdom
3
Hearts?
did, obviously.
So the other 3 did. So you've got Halloween Town from The Nightmare Before Christmas. You've got Sherwood Forest from Robin Hood. You've got Agrabah from Aladdin, or you have Deep Jungle from Tarzan.
Okay.
James, as you're currently in the lead, I think we're going to ask you to go first.
Oh,
so
no.
A, B, C, or D.
Halloween. Say it again. Halloween.
You got Halloween Town, Sherwood Forest,
Sherwood Forest,
Agrabah, or Deep Jungle. Which one of these was not in the original Kingdom Hearts game?
Again, this is obviously a complete guess because I've never played the games.
You haven't played the games yet.
I will go with... I'm between 2.
Oh, interesting. Which 2 have you?
And I don't know whether I should say which 2.
Okay,
Because I don't want Hollie to jump
don't
on
want to
the
give Hollie an
other. Or do
advantage.
I've got an answer, but I don't know if it's correct.
Okay, I will just
Mine.
have to guess. B.
I was going to say B, but remember it's like 20 years since I've played
Yeah. So you've both gone for B. Sherwood Forest.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased to say that you're both correct.
Yay!
So we both get a point?
You both get a point.
So we're no better off.
But at least I've got a point.
So Hollie, you finally made it onto the scoreboard. Congratulations.
Thank you.
James, 2-1 up.
That was complete guess. I was between Halloween and Sherwood Forest because I felt like the other two just felt very Disney.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, they're all Disney
Halloween
properties.
obviously didn't seem
I remember
Disney.
that one, so I knew that was okay.
But that's why I was thinking that's probably more likely.
And that's quite near the beginning, isn't it?
Halloween Town, I think, it's probably about halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah. Deep Jungle is one of the first. So Halloween
I
Town
remember
and Agrabah
Tarzan.
are about, yeah.
I remember the first and the last, and then I was like, I can't really remember C. But it must have been in there, because that's very Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but we did it. We got
well
points.
done to both of you for getting a point
Yay.
today. We'd like to, if you've enjoyed the podcast today, remember to like and subscribe. Is there anything you'd like to add to this?
Not really.
No. But yeah, thank you again.
We have actually got a Mario video.
Yeah. So please keep a lookout for a Mario video that's going to be coming up maybe today or tomorrow, and we're going to be ranking all of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC booster pack, whatever it was called. But yeah, we'll be ranking the 8 new tracks. So keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for that.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have more game stuff, more content coming soon.
Yes.
I think we're pretty much done. We've covered a lot of stuff today.
We have.
I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, like Theo said, like, subscribe, follow, and
Do
until
all
then,
those internet things.
we'll see you
We'll see you next time.
soon.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.